Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Off the Beaten Track out here at beautiful Glasshouse Mountains. Today, what we're actually doing is I'm doing a bit of a comparison between doing something like a roof platform over traditional roof racks. It's a question I asked myself when I was looking at roof storage back when before I got this. Corey and I just so happened to have one of each, a platform and a roof rack, so it's a great opportunity to show the pros and cons of both and hopefully help you guys decide which way you want to go when it comes to roof storage. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So starting with the roof platform, because speaking from experience, have had it on the car quite a while now. This is a really good way to go if you're looking at maximizing your rooftop storage. So if you're wanting to add multiple things on there, like you can see I've got an awning, I've got a solar panel, and also when we go away camping, I do put a gazebo on the roof because I run a gazebo hub system. But I've also got a fair amount of space left over there, which I will show you a view up there in a bit. But beside my solar panel, I've actually got enough space there if I need to go to Bunnings and pick up some timber or something like that. Any sort of those, bigger, longer supplies that don't fit inside the car, I can chuck up on the roof and I don't need to take anything off. We're actually looking at getting some canoes for when we go away camping near rivers, and that's a great place to put it. Some more positives are you've got a lot more mounting options. So obviously got more space like I just touched on just before, but you can sort of just distribute the weight on the roof because each one of these slats that I'll overlay some footage of has the opportunity to have like a mounting eyelet or brackets or whatever you want to put on there. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people put recovery boards on there, and also you could do things like water tanks, high reach jacks, things like that. Some people load them all the way up. I like to keep mine, relatively light because this car does get used as an everyday driver for the family, so I don't want to be consuming more fuel than I have to, particularly at the moment. $3.20 a litre, thank you. I mainly use the eyelet mounts because when I'm putting stuff up there and strapping it down, I actually prefer to use ratchet straps rather than rope, mainly because I can't tie a knot to save my life apart from my shoes, and they stay tied up all the time, so I can just slip them on and off. If I get a ratchet strap for my shoes, I would, because that's much easier. Anyway, I usually use a ratchet strap, so that's easy. You can just hook the hook part of the ratchet strap into those eyelets there, which is great. So yeah, being able to mount things wherever you want is a really, really good plus for these platforms. Now, all the platforms, when you're looking at brands and that, are pretty much the same. You do have a little bit of quality differences. I went for the Yakima system, and the main reason behind that is I actually purchased this whole system off Marketplace. There was someone around the corner from me who had a Ford Everest with the legs, the mounting brackets, and the platform that he was selling for a pretty good price, and it come off the same car, so it was I knew it was going to work. But you can obviously do like Rhino, and I believe there's even a Pro Rack system as well that you can go for. Now, touching briefly on when you are mounting these guys, the system that I've got is a flush low mounting system. So you've got the leg that mounts onto the flush rail that is on these Everests, and there's sort of like this T-bar here, and it latches onto the slats of the platform. This is great because it keeps it a lot lower. A lot of the other systems, particularly like the Pro Rack system, you actually have to have the normal roof rack, which I'll show you on Corey's car, and then the platform mounts onto the roof rack, which means it's going to be that little bit higher, have a little bit more weight. The downside about what I have here, even though it's nice and low, is the only point of contact this has with the platform is actually these two little clips that you've got to tighten up onto the slats. And I will put some footage over the top of me showing that. The issue with that is if you're doing a lot of off-roading and that, like you would have seen in the Genoa Hills video, where we were being a bit silly, I will say that, but nonetheless, all that movement, got a bit of weight up there. Those little teeth there are only going to hold on so much. Once you got weight up there and you got that momentum, they will come off. And also, when you're doing these legs up, it does tend to pull to the sides like that, and it's not flat. If you actually have it with a roof rack and then the platform on it, it forces those legs to stay at a certain angle there, and you're actually bolting the platform to the roof rack, so it takes a lot more to move it off there. The other alternative, if you want it low to the roof, but want it to be a bit more secure, is you can go a backbone system, but they are a lot more costly and there's a lot more to it because you've got to remove your factory rails and all that. So the pros and cons to both of it. I went this system because that's what the guy was selling on Marketplace. I may change it for a backbone system down the track, but yeah, that is just a little con there. So yeah, the main pros of these roof platforms are you can load them up quite a lot. You can put lots of mounting accessories up there. You can have your awning, your solar panel, like I put on there my gazebo, your recovery boards, whatever you want to put up there, and it will it will hold everything. Something you do need to keep in mind, which comes into a con, is obviously weight. So cars have got a certain weight rating that they can actually take. Every car's different, just depends what they've used to actually make the car. With these guys, if you're doing a system where you've got like a rooftop tent that you're keeping up there all the time, a platform may not be the way to go for you, and I will touch on this when we are looking at Corey's car, but that's because a rooftop tent is however many kilograms it is, and then you plus your roof platform and all the mounting gear for it on top of that, and then you do need to keep in mind that you and potentially someone else, however many people you got sleeping with you in there, are going to be in there as well. So you need to take all that into account. I know it's not a lot of weight because they are aluminium, but they are still heavy. That still does add up. So if you are putting a rooftop tent in there, maybe a platform is not the way to go. So yeah, weight is a big thing with it. And probably the last con that I will speak about is overall cost. Now, I did buy this secondhand on Marketplace, like I did mention before, but looking online, for the platform itself, you are looking at about $800 to $1,000, depending what brand, depending if it's on sale. Your legs, about $200 for a 4-pack, and then you've got to get the mounting accessory bracket, whatever it is that attaches to your rail system on top of that as well. So you are looking at about, I would allow $1,500 for a roof platform system there. That's not plussing any mounting accessories for your traction boards, eyelets or anything like that. When you look at a roof rack system, it is a lot cheaper, and I will wrap this sort of up at the end, but that is a con for the platform, is cost-wise is going to be a bit more, but functionality, you definitely are going to get more functionality out of it. Just depends what you're doing with it. If you're putting a rooftop tent on there, maybe not the way to go because you're not going to be able to use it. Anyway, there's rooftop tents going to be covering it. So now I am going to get Corey to chat about the pros and cons that he has found with his roof rack system on his Vitara. And then we'll do a little bit of a wrap up and see which one's the best way to go for you. So yeah, moving on to Corey's car, aka the roof rack system. I'll get Corey to talk over the pros and cons that he's found with it. But as you can see, he's got a roof rack system pretty loaded up at the moment. I'll get him to chat about that, how that experience was. But yeah, how do you find the roof rack system?
Yeah, honestly, it's a good mix of, cheap enough and easy enough that you can fit it by yourself. I also got these off Marketplace, so I think it was about $150, and generally they're about $400 from Super Cheap Auto or any other retailers like that. The only downside that I've really had so far is the lack of places to really mount things. So obviously with Ben's roof platform, you've got ample little eyelet channels that you can mount a whole mix of different stuff in. Me on the other hand, I had to go down to Bunnings and buy the cheapest flat bar steel that I could, painted it black, still rusted anyway, so that I could actually mount stuff on the roof properly that I wanted to.
That was for your solar panel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. So King stopped selling their slim but long 200 watt solar panel, so I kind of had to really go with what I could, but that is generally the only downside I've seen so far. The load rating on mine, I believe, is anywhere from 100 to 150 kilos. That is just the dynamic load, so static. If you're parked up somewhere and you have a rooftop tent, or you happen to throw a bunch of gear, swag, toboggan, whatever on the roof, all that sort of stuff is you know, it goes above the dynamic rating, but the static rating is still 100 to 150. Although if you're handy on the tools and you've got the time to actually do it, make your own sort of, you know, rails, I guess, between the actual roof racks. It is definitely a more budget orientated way of doing it. And obviously with budget stuff, there's compromises being that if you want to mount stuff that isn't the perfect spacing of your roof racks, you're going to have to probably fashion something up or get someone to fashion them up for you. They work, and surprisingly they're actually quite robust. I think they're about 3 or 4 mil thick steel, so they work just fine. But you can get some things for roof racks, but it is a lot more difficult to find something that is both going to fit the actual T-channel of your roof rack and also be, again, that spacing. And this is from car to car variancy, but with mine, I've got mine mounted as far forward and as far backwards as I can have it. So I've got load distributed for the most part pretty evenly above the A and also C pillars. That'll just sort of steady the, you know, everything up on the roof a bit more. It makes me feel a bit nicer about it as well, especially when I've got the water tank full. So that'll be an extra 40 kilos for the 40-litre tank on the roof. It's not always filled up, but when it is, it's just a bit nicer to have everything sort of squared up on the roof and, you know, have the load distributed accordingly. But you can get away with roof racks. It is a lot cheaper and it's a lot easier as well to fit, being that you can actually just assemble the racks for the most part off of the vehicle, and then you just push those little Allen key screw bits in and you can move the legs out, and yeah, pretty much you can do it in an afternoon. Doing Ben's setup, probably going to need at least 2 people. So
you definitely need 2 people. It was a heavy exercise.
Yeah.
And yeah, you still got to obviously move the legs in and out to make sure they're the right width apart. I had the beauty of it came off a Ford Everest to begin with, so it was relatively in the right spot.
Playing devil's advocate, I guess some of the downsides would be wind noise, as with a platform, for the most part, you're going to have wind noise, but it's all going to be consistent throughout the roof, whereas with roof racks, you're going to have all that tumbling air at the front and then it's going to start to go away and it's going to hit the back again. Now, these T16 Pro Rack roof racks that I have do have some wind sound anti-whistling stuff on the tops of the actual roof racks. Whether or not that works, I don't really know. Kind of hard to tell because the L brackets that hold my awning on whistle. Other thing as well, going back to the mounting and stuff, I had to go and find a specific set of brackets that would work with my roof rack and my light bar. That's a King's 40-inch dual row light bar. So I think it's about 7 kilos, and it's a lot of weight to have hanging forward of a roof rack. So you've got all this torsional sort of stress put on the actual rack. So I noticed when I just had the light bar on there, I had a lot of flex in the light bar. And that was with everything tightened up, as tight as it could be onto my roof channels, all that sort of stuff. I thread locked everything. I did notice once I put an awning on there and the solar panels and all that, being that it was then linked to the back one and there was a bit of weight on there, it did steady everything up.
Because you've got that cross support on there now, hey? Yeah.
Whereas with Ben's, if or when he gets a light bar on the roof, it's literally probably not going to move because it's just mounted completely to, for all extensive purposes, a single piece of something.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have any of that torsional sort of, you know, waving around and all that, which you don't really notice until you're going down a corrugated road and then it starts to look like an epileptic's nightmare in front of you. But yeah, it's honestly, for what they are, they're good. And if you can get them secondhand, definitely do, but just make sure they actually fit your vehicle, because I had a lot of hit and misses on Marketplace, so just be wary of that. But yeah, don't get me wrong, like, they're great, but you got to put in a bit more effort to get the same amount of gear on the roof, whereas with a platform, it's just simpler, straightforward, better distribution of weight as well on the vehicle. And I also think they just look better as well. So that's just my 2 cents. But anyway, I'll hand it back off to Ben now.
Yeah. So yeah, now for a little bit of a wrap-up part of the video. We've had, you know, a little bit of a look at the pros and cons for the platform and the roof rack. Basically, my point of view on it is it's going to change for everybody's use. Some people have got different uses, some people have got different budgets. You know, if you are like me and you're wanting to sort of have ease of use, chuck multiple things up there, not have a super permanent setup, I've got enough space up there that I can, you know, chuck some timber up there, chuck a canoe up there, whatever I want to put up there, I've got some space up there. That's great. But with your roof rack system, it's kind of, especially when you've got a lot of stuff on it like Corey does, you're out of space, you're out of options there. So that is, you know, a big thing. If you are wanting something that's a little bit more modular, platform is the way to go. Does look, I prefer the look of the platform as well, like Corey spoke on, but that is just a vanity item, doesn't really matter. Roof racks, what I think are really, really good for, I think if you're doing a rooftop tent, a roof rack is a no-brainer, because once you've got a roof rack on a platform, you're not going to have any slats you can use to mount anything, and it's just extra weight and money for literally no reason. So go roof racks if you are planning to put a rooftop tent on there. And of course, budget-wise, if you are on a bit of a budget, and if you can't find a cheap platform that's going to fit on your car, on like Marketplace or on sale or anything like that, roof racks are a really good way to go. But like Corey mentioned, you're probably going to have to fashion up your own sort of stuff, doing a little bit of your own fabricating, unless you can find something that perfectly fits on that spacing of those roof racks on your car. You're going to have to do a little bit of playing around. So they are the main positives and cons of both, and the reason why I would go for option A or option B. Now, I did briefly speak on cost with the roof platform. Roof platform, like I said, brand new, I would allow at least $1,500 depending what system and mounting you're going to do with it. With the roof rack system, I did have a brief look, but legs, they're going to cost the same no matter what system you go for, so they're about $200 for a set, plus your mounting accessories to fit it to your car, so extra $50 to $100 depending what they are. And then the actual racks themselves are generally about $300-400, just depends what brand you're going with. So you could probably get away with it if you got it on sale for about $500-600, as opposed to on sale you're looking at $1,500. So there's $1,000 price difference between the two, and you know, that $1,000 you can buy some decent set of tires, or you know, you can start putting that money towards a lift kit or something like that. If storage isn't a big thing for you, just do a roof rack. So yeah, that is the pros and cons of either a roof platform system or a roof rack system. I do hope this video helped you decide which way you want to do it and gave you some good options for if you do want to do a roof platform or do want to do a roof rack system. Thanks very much for joining back in. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's not hard, it's like here, wherever it is, depends on what device you're looking at. Hit that like button as well. And until the next time, I do hope you can get off the beaten track. See ya.